Ready for the show?
Yeah!
Awesome, here we go. Let's get her started. How y'all doing? Thank you so much.
Let me hold your ears, honey.
I'm Chris Camp, the whip guy. What you've just heard is the sound made by the American-style bullwhip. Before I begin the show, I always like to explain why the whip makes this super cool noise. But in order for me to do this and to make it enjoyable, I need a young lady volunteer. Are you brave?
Yep, very.
Give her a big round of applause. Here she comes. Come on up here, kid. What's your name? Caitlin, nice to see you. Caitlin, come over here, Caitlin. So Caitlin, I'm curious, have you ever wondered why the whip makes this?
Yeah.
Super cool sound? Really? Well, all right, Caitlin, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a moment to explain to all these wonderful people why the whip makes this sound, and when I'm done, you and I will do a super cool, death-defying stunt right here in front of this audience. Sound awesome?
Yeah.
Fantastic. Now, Caitlin, a lot of people think that the whip is making this super loud cracking sound for a couple of reasons. Reason number one, it's probably just hitting the ground. And if you all watch closely, you will notice the whip does come up, come down, and make contact with the ground. But if you're the observant kind, you'll also notice I can crank the whip right here. Right over the daring Caitlin's head. And I didn't hit you though, did I?
No.
You know why I didn't hit you, Caitlin? Because I'm getting better at that part of the show. So, Caitlin, you and I have established that the whip is in fact not hitting anything around us, but by now you've all noticed these whips are very flexible. They bend and they curl a whole bunch. Well, some people assume that the whip's not hitting something around us like the ground, or hitting Caitlin, which I'm sure would make a whole different sound. Perhaps the whip is just curling up and hitting itself, making a big slapping sound. That's not the reason it makes that noise either. Ladies and gentlemen, the real reason the whip is making this loud cracking sound is because the end of this whip is traveling nearly 900 miles per hour. What you're hearing is the very first man-made tool that can actually break the speed of sound. This crack is not a Hollywood sound effect, it's actually a small sonic boom. I know that's hard to visualize, so I'll put it to you this way. When you hear this, the end of that whip is cracking and moving faster than most bullets leaving the barrel of a gun, which makes these whips potentially lethal weapons capable of slicing through skin and crushing small bones, which is where my first volunteer, Caitlin, comes into play. Caitlin, I'm going to have you stand right here. I'm going to have you place your hands high in the air. And then all I'm going to do, Caitlin, is have you stand really still. And I'm going to take a whip and I'm going to crack it right here around your belly. Now, before I attempt this stunt, Caitlin, there are two rules that you must learn. Rule number one, just face the audience. Rule number two, remembering that these whips are nearly lethal weapons. Rule number two, remember, Caitlin, this rule is twice as important as rule number one. That's why it's second. Rule number two, remember, rule number one is face the audience. Rule number two, smile. No matter what happens. Caitlin, how old are you?
I am 10 and a half.
10 and a half. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 9 and under whip. I'm going to go back and get the 10 and a half and older whip. It's just a little bit bigger. I'll be right back.
Don't worry, he hasn't lost anybody since last year.
That's right. Oh, that's right. Caitlin,
Hands up, Caitlin.
please face the audience.
Good luck, baby.
Smile no matter what happens. Is she smiling? Yeah. Okay, because I would have been running. Here we go, Caitlin. On the count of 3. And Caitlin, do not worry. I did this with a 5-year-old kid just last week. 5 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Only 2 and a half and I got done, but it's a division joke. Here we go. On the count of 3, Caitlin. 1, 2, 3.
Think about it, Kate.
Ladies and gentlemen, give her a big round of applause. The amazing Caitlin. Wow, nearly stealing the show. Beat it, kid. Awesome. Give her another round of applause. In just a moment, I'm going to have you put your hands out to the sides, Christian, just like this. But right now, I just want you to relax, Christian. Take a good look at the audience. I'll be right back.
Watch Big Bro. Oh, yeah, you got it. Wow.
You are so brave. Christian, please place your arms out to the sides as we discussed. I'll place one flower in this hand. Christian, just hold that for me right there. One flower in this hand.
Oh, you're so pretty, buddy.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's what's supposed to happen. I will attempt to cut both flowers out of Christian's hand, starting over here on the left-hand side. Now, Christian, look over here. I'm going to try to hit this flower right here in the pink flowery part. If by chance I get over here in the pink fleshy part, let me know right away. Now, how old are you, Christian?
7.
Ladies and gentlemen, Christian is 7 years old. The reason I ask is for your enjoyment here at Mahaffie Stagecoach Stop. I will attempt something that has never before been attempted today during my 11:30 show. That's right. I will attempt to cut this flower and the remaining stem one time for every year that Christian's been alive, a total of 7 times. So far, my record is 3. We'll see how it goes. I'm kidding, Christian. I'm only going to cut them once, but here's the super important part of the show, the serious part, Christian. Do not move. If you move, I can miss it. If I miss, you know what's going to happen, don't you, Christian? That's right. I'll look Ben for a little bit of these people, and you'll look different.
Hold them straight, baby.
Here we go, Christian. Ladies and gentlemen, that was warm-up number 1. You're doing great, kid. That was closer, but folks, I'm sorry, Christian, I forgot something. Give me just one moment, please. Just give me a second here.
He's putting on glasses, Christian.
Better? That's great. Right there, kid. A big round of applause, the amazing Christian!
Sit, Rocket, sit.